Ali Al Riyami, consultant and former Director General of Marketing at the Ministry of Energy and Minerals in Oman, and get his thoughts on the decision that OPEC Plus made and the subsequent commentary from the Minister of Saudi Arabia, which was a big interview earlier this week, where this decision takes the group forward. Your thoughts, Ali?
Good morning, everybody. Of course, we have followed the meeting this time with a little bit of concerns. Nobody was expecting the decision to go this way. But overall, I think there was some positive, positive indications from OPEC that realized.
Let me just interrupt you there, Ali. You didn't expect it to go this way. What do you mean by this way?
Well, there was no consensus this time, and there was a lot of debates on African countries, as everybody knows now. And the only good surprise was to, Brazil is to join the OPEC Plus. That's the only positive. But all the other things that they were seen by spectators like us, that it was negative. Although that I see it in a different way. I see that the decision was good enough to reflect the reality in the ground, and but unfortunately that most of analysis and most of the spectators they have seen it to be a negative, and the result of that we see that the prices have been affected at the moment. They haven't seen the brighter side of the decision, that there is another 900,000 barrels have been cut to the market, although that this will reflect the low demand in the coming few months. But again, I mean, there was a positive sign. The only problem was that there was no uncertainties, and then it was open to the countries to decide how much is to cut and who wants to cut and so on. So there was no such an agreement on the decision. But overall, I think it was okay. Not very good one, not the one expected, but it was a good result at the end. And majority of the GCC countries, they took it in a very positive way, and we hope that this will reflect the reality in the supply and demand side in the coming few months.
I mean, I was quite taken by the commentary by the Minister of Energy of Saudi in the interview on Monday, particularly in reference to Russia. A lot of the talk, as you mentioned, the difficult meeting that was had, or the virtual meeting that was had over the 2 weeks into the decision last Thursday, a lot of the talk was about, the African countries not quite being too happy with their quotas being reduced, or that it was generally the African countries which were the stumbling block. But listening to the interview with the minister on Sunday, it seemed to me that was a very different story. It was very much about Russia. I mean, the detail that he went into, and just repeated there by Vandana, that the Russians will meet the first this of every month, and they're going to meet with these 5 Ds. And I mean, it's all about holding the Russians to account. And lo and behold, a day later, we get the announcement that President Putin is visiting Saudi and the UAE today. First, obviously, visit outside, I think, external visit out of Russia other than China in the 2 years of the Ukraine war. Your thoughts about the Russian-Saudi solidarity at the core of OPEC Plus, and how fragile it might be. Your thoughts on that?
It's a sweet and sour relationship. It goes either way. But anyway, before I answer your question, Sean, if you can just give me 1 second or 2 seconds to comment to what has Vandana have said. I have fully agree with what she had said about the statements and also the meeting this time, and things went a little bit unexpected. She said some wrong things happened. But anyway, I think this is the problem with OPEC all the time. Communication with the media, communication with the outside world is a bit on a defensive mode. and they don't really react positively with the media. And they always underestimate the power of what we or you guys can do when it comes to read the numbers and read the results of any meetings, OPEC meetings and OPEC Plus meetings. And the reflect of that, we see it immediately in the prices. So until the market reacts and the market corrects itself, it is too late. So now to go to His Royal Highness interview is, to me, it's just trying to, you know, to correct whatever happens, you know, before, and to try and give some more inside information to cool the market a little bit. But again, I believe that the market will react and also will reflect the reality, and it will correct itself, because I think it was over-exaggerated. The market over-exaggerate. I don't think that we should be in 70s at the moment, but at least I think maybe the few coming weeks, it will you know, correct itself. And of course, it depends about Malia, what she said about the economy, the world economy and so on. But I think below 80 or 75, it is very much lower than expectation. To go back again about to your question, I think this has always been the case between Saudi Arabia and also Russia. But normally these things doesn't come outside the meetings. They have some concerns. They have their own agendas. Saudi Arabia is the largest producer. Russia also, they have their own, now adding more revenue expected from the oil. It is something that they need to think about, and also to act basically on that. So exporting oil and also producing more from Russia, and not to comply with any agreed numbers. That has always been concerned, and not only with Russia but all of us. I mean, there is very few countries that they really comply with the quotas, basically.
We're looking in the region. We're hosting COP28 here in Dubai. I was in the Oman Pavilion the other day. Lots of interesting talks. There is one of the narratives emerging out of week one is the discussion, a talking point of whether we will be including in the communique or in the COP28 statement the phasing down or the phasing out of hydrocarbons. And that debate is raging up at the COP28 campus this week. I'm wondering, from your perspective, does it make a difference? Will the energy markets, the oil markets, care which one of those two pathways COP28 chooses? Should they care? Your thoughts on that, where COP28 intersects with the daily, weekly, current energy markets?
First of all, we should really thank United Arab Emirates for hosting the COP28 in a very wonderful image, and it's a very good event. And so far, all the box are been ticked almost. Creating funds and focus on renewables and so on and so forth. But when it comes to energy, when it comes to fossil fuels, I think we also, again, we are exaggerating sometimes, and we tend to forget about the need of energy to the third world. And we keep on, focusing on things that it only suits the West, and it ignores the need of the South, the Africans, and also the Indians and Pakistanis. We need all sort of energies, especially at the moment and for the years to come. We need all of it, and more it is to oil and gas rather than anything else. So to start talking about reducing, or start talking about less investment on
phase down or phase out.
Phase down, and this kind of roads, it's just creating an issue and creating a problems. We have enough statements from EIA or IEA, I think. IEA, sorry. Yeah, and those were enough at that time. So we don't need to go through that again through a very respectable organization like COP28. I mean, they have to be realistic, and also they have to consider that there are people in this world, they're still, using very old methods of energy. So let's just focus on making the world a better place for all of us and for the generations to come. But nevertheless, is to talk about how can we produce a cleaner fossil oil rather than trying to talk about reducing or making a timetable